The premises. God, I hate synopsises. To me, a synopsis is something that forces me to simplify something that I went to a great deal of trouble to turn complex. I tell you just to go to the blog and read the first few pages, but that would be unprofessional of me. Let's give it a try. The story of Lethen takes place in a continent comprised of many kingdoms, but the focus of the story so far takes us to the kingdom of Lethen, currently engaged in war with Gradrom, Lethen's enemy for little more than a few decades, and Arvalish, the remainder of the ancient kingdom of magic. Lethen, the House of Arganos, describes the story of the kingdom through the point of view of Alania, a young noblewoman exiled in the island of Dragum, who is rescued by Lethenian soldiers and mercenaries from a Gradromian invasion of the island. Obviously, the Lethenians did not rescue her out of kindness of their hearts. Alania has a vital role for the survival of the kingdom, and they will stop at nothing to see it fulfilled. The Lethenians in general have a healthy, disrespectful life, and even their religion is mostly focused on war. Chief among her bloodthirsty gods is a Dark Phantom, a mercenary whose reputation as a ruthless killer is not only renowned but proven throughout Alania's journey. She strives to humanize him while keeping herself untainted from his influence. A tantalizing quest, given that the latter has an uncanny ability to spite her efforts by effectively obliterating every human obstacle in his path, more often than not through displays of excessive violence. Though Alania is the main character and the story circles mostly around her, it is not exclusive to her point of view. There are other characters that get a spotlight, such as Nivra, a blind Gradromian princess that has dreams of the future, or Rolf Allard, a young mage initiate who provides insights on Arvalis, and some others whose allegiances and objectives not only make them neutral in the conflict, but indicate that there might be interests at play other than just the war between the three kingdoms. As for the style, usually, debut authors are encouraged not to bring about names of other authors. I assume this is as much to eliminate incorrect ideas by association of successful writers and an untried work, as much as preventing a possible lawsuit. I assure that's not my intention. I do, however, believe that the best way to express my style and construction of the tests and theme is best done by providing you with comparisons, and to make sure that you understand the comparisons, I need to select something that as many people as possible know. So I'm going to select a few sagas to make my point. They are The Lord of the Rings, A Song of Ice and Fire, and Harry Potter. I cannot stress enough that I am not comparing my test quality with these examples. This is my debut work, and I have much to learn. I hope to have the opportunity to show you my growth as an author, and hope that one day I will be considered on par with the writers of these awesome series. Age range. So, if we consider Harry Potter for the youngest range, Lord of the Rings for the second oldest, and The Song of Ice and Fire for the oldest, the age range of Lethen would be somewhere in between Lord of the Rings and The Song of Ice and Fire. Word count. The first part has little over 150,000 words, and the two others have around 190,000 words. I do believe this is roughly twice the size of the first Harry Potter. Structure. The Harry Potter series are always seen from the perspective of Harry and never by any other character. Lord of the Rings divides the point of view by 2 or 3 groups, and The Song of Ice and Fire through many points of view. Lethen is divided like A Song of Ice and Fire, but most of the point of view is Alania's. The other points of view are mostly complementary and only prepare the setting for future plots and for comparison's sake. Plot limits. I suffered from the same trouble Tolkien suffered from in Lord of the Rings. For those who don't know, Lord of the Rings was actually supposed to be one single book, but somehow ended up with 3, and that ruined the careful story limits. This does not change the quality of the story, of course. I never really count the number of books, I just did them up. But I'm sure there were plenty of people pointing out the flaw, if it might be considered as such. In contrast, Harry Potter has sublimely well-plotted beginnings and ends that leave the current plot satisfied, while leaving purposeful baits for the sequels. On the other hand, and as far as my limited perception is capable of discerning, A Song of Ice and Fire completely trumps those imposed limits and cuts the book whenever the damn thing is getting too big, which is fine in my opinion. Initially, Lethen was supposed to be well defined in terms of where a book ended and another began. But I've added so much content since then that to keep it in a single book is now impossible. It remains well limited within an arc, but I was forced to make them into several books, several parts. Despite the bulk, I have to confess I am not disappointed. Small spoiler alerts, the second arc of the story, Rise of Razak, begins 5 years after the end of the first arc, the House of Arganos. My apologies for those who like that my main character was a teenage young girl. Girls grow, it's a thing of life, get over it.